Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Sakuzyo reaction. Today we have MagiCatz as requested by Yakubu and my executive producers, and I don't know what I'm about to get into. It's not that long of a song, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be a banger. That has been proven multiple times. So I guess without further ado, let's go! Okay, starting a little jazzy. Very less of a walking bass line, more of a sprint. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Play into the jazz soul that I have. Oh, love the accent for the snare. So snappy. And the fact that it stays syncopated. Okay. Never mind about jazz. Now we're in Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker. Now I don't know where we are. Almost kind of sounded like a Sega game there for a second. Now it really does. Okay, double time. Back to the jazz though. Got that swing. Again, loving the, attention to detail for the drums. I wonder if that's a sample. Because if that's, if that was individually built, I'm very impressed. That could just be a pre-recorded loop, though. Also, this sounds vaguely familiar, weirdly. Okay, that was a journey, and it also sounded vaguely familiar. I don't know why that is. I don't think I've heard that anywhere before. It's not in anything that I know, but maybe I've stumbled across it at some point. That was bugging me pretty much the whole time. The second it started getting into like past the first swing section, I was like, wait a minute, I think I've heard this. Either way though, we got stuff to talk about. I don't know why exactly, but this was kind of giving me the vibes of the game Knights. If any of you know that or remember it, it probably would take an unk to remember it, but in the grand scheme, I don't know entirely why, because it doesn't necessarily sound exactly like that sound, but there's just something about the jazziness that made me feel that way. It's probably because they do use some swing in Knights pretty often, and a lot of Sega games in that era kind of did. Like the mid-2000s to early 2010s, that was like a thing that their composers were doing, which is totally cool by me. I loves me a good swing, and this song had plenty of that. Also, that one section that was a lot more cinematic and broad didn't really lean into the jazz nearly as much, but that doesn't mean it was bad or anything. It was just a different sound. They wanted to expand that emotional hook of the song, and I think that jazz, while it is fun, doesn't tend to have that when it's a swing, because a swing is usually meant for partying and dancing, not so much for like a big emotional swell, you know? So this is a very journeying song. It has a lot of that emotion going throughout, and you need to take moments like that to slow things down and let the listener really sink their teeth into the song. So what we had going on here was a really fun progression, honestly, pretty standard one. We had D flat, E flat, like F minor, and like a B flat minor, and I believe a C minor in there as well. So it was kind of like we had like that was basically the bulk of the second half of the song, was that progression specifically, and that's a fun progression. Plenty of room to play with. A lot of those I'm sure were also with sevenths, just because that seems to be a thing that jazz does for opening the song a little bit more and allowing more of that room for especially solos, which we had a lot of freeform, freestyle sort of stuff going on in here, so that would definitely track. But either way, that was really fun. I love those progressions, especially the ones that are like so naturally, like effortlessly, like lifting. They feel so much like they're gonna be just, aha, it's a good time, you know? Even when they go low, they come back around. It's like, hey, we always end on that higher note, usually landing on the tonic. For this song, it was F minor, so that tracks there. And I also mentioned the walking bass line was more like a sprint, and for those who don't know what a walking bass line is, it's a very common bass line style for especially upright standing basses, fretless basses, that are very easy to do because they're chromatic. They literally just walk up and down the scale of notes. So for this song, it was like that's like everything. It was just that, and that works because it's covering basically every note that we need. The B flat minor is in that set, the C minor is in that set minus this note. Again, we have most of the notes here. It's like, it's basically covering the whole tonic roots of every note combination we want. So we end up with this general familiarity in our ears of just like, oh yeah, all those notes are present, they're there. That kind of tends to be the goal for a walking bass line, just kind of hitting everything on the way down and wrapping back around by about the time that you would need to before you start losing what the actual scale is. So that tends to work, and it tends to be something that is just, again, effortless when you're playing it on the bass because you're just kind of running your finger up it. You know, you don't have to really think about where you're going because the notes will naturally land as your finger goes up, just like it would on any fretboard. The things are chromatic. And if you were to look at a guitar, which I had to go get, so sorry about that weird jump there, this is very much the same thing. So whoops, I so got my pick in there. Okay, so this would be the E, right? Like that's where we sit on a standard tuning. That's an E. So if you were to go up from there, you get the F, and then now you get an F sharp, a G sharp, an A, and A sharp. You know, you keep going up from there. So like that's very much the same principle for a standing bass because they're both stringed instruments. They both have the similar thing. You just hold it like this and you get rid of these little metal rungs in here and you can just climb up and boop, 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 boop. You see how that works. And now thanks to showing the guitar in a video, I can use it as a tax write-off. So thank you also very much for allowing me the opportunity to show you that and actually utilize that guitar for probably the only time it'll be on camera and not just me practicing it in the background as I learn what the hell I'm doing on a guitar. It's fun to learn, but it is complicated and it does take for fucking ever. But jokes aside, that is kind of what this song is doing. It's keeping things alive, it's keeping the energy moving, and things like chromatic bass lines are very, very adept and utilized for that all the fucking time. Again, it's something so fluent and natural that when you're just climbing things up and you keep rotating back in the same notes, you cannot lose the energy. You're always starting back at square one. So it, just like a chord progression, looping back around and having that F minor be where we end every single time, we have that ending point that always begins the next section, and then we can always run back to the very beginning and have this sort of looping energy to it. That's very common for any chord progression that needs to have that looping. You don't want to keep moving to something else and not have the same general chords being utilized unless you're going through a key change. Point aside, it's just following all the rules, and a fretless bass line, a walking bass line, is just a very useful tool for that, especially in a song that is moving so quickly. You need to simplify sometimes in order for that to make sense and not also have somebody fumbling around on a fretboard or sometimes a fretless board, even more complicated, trying to find out where they need to go next. And as a result, this song just ends up being this bundle of energy that never seems to stop, even when we do take those emotional little steps to the side to ground the listener. And that's just useful in general for the sake of music theory and the storytelling of a song. You need to have those moments, like I said earlier. So it's just in general a really fun track. Sakuzyo never seems to miss. I've heard quite a few Sakuzyo songs, and this is just another one up there of like, damn, Sakuzyo really knows what they're doing. But I think I've yapped about it enough, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else, by all means, drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you want to guarantee something, much like Yukubu did for this one, you can always go to my Patreon, and if the tier is open, you can guarantee a song out of me. Doesn't matter what it's from, who it's by, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!